Millions of women face financial challenges every day, but some are more challenged than others simply because of the choices they make. Joining us now is certified financial planner Mitchell Kauffman, and Mitchell is here to tell us that women can make 10 major mistakes, and what we'll do is just go through these one by one.
That's right, CJ.
Okay. Well, what's the first one?
Well, I've worked with women for 25 years as an independent financial planner, dealing with wealth management and legacy planning. And it's not to pick on women, but we find that there are certain tendencies. You know, we can do a separate show on men, but there's certain tendencies.
A long show.
Yeah, right. But there's certain tendencies to be aware of, and it's not a right or wrong, but just being aware can help us a lot. So, for example, we're talking about the first one, putting other people's needs ahead of their own. The idea is that, you know, oftentimes women will pay for a child's education before considering their own retirement, that they'll loan money to relatives without expectation of being repaid. And, you know, you get back to the analogy, it's like when you take a flight. The flight attendant says, get your own oxygen mask on first before you help the rest of your family. So important thing to be aware of. Then the idea of spending money to compensate for emotional feelings. You know, when you're going through a tough time, important to take a step back, to perhaps look for other things that might help other than just spending money.
This is like a quick feel-good? I mean,
exactly.
Go out and buy something and
good
feel
way
good.
To put it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Third thing, deciding on whether to keep a mortgage or pay it off. You know, the rule of thumb is that if you're 50 years old, you're going to live in your house a while, pay off the mortgage. But that's not always the best financial advice. And we know that women are oftentimes less comfortable having a loan, but it's important to look at a number of variables before you make that decision, at least from the financial standpoint. Certainly the tax bracket, what the amount of portfolio that a person has or savings relative to the loan balance, cash flow needs, and also the peace of mind factor. Combining all those, taking a step back before you just rush out and pay that mortgage off, can really be the better way to go.
Consider other options first?
Exactly. Another thing is whether living in a home that's too large or too expensive. And women oftentimes have a nesting instinct, which can prompt them to stay in a home beyond when it might be the best thing to do. So again, objective advice, looking at those variables that we listed before, and really trying to make an independent decision. And that's part of what we do with clients, is try to help them step back from a lot of this stuff that can be very emotional.
Possible downsides.
Possible downsides.
Okay.
Another thing is having an outdated or non-existent estate plan. You know, one of the best things we can do for our loved ones is to make sure our financial affairs are in order in case, God forbid, anything happens to us. And so it behooves us to look at our estate plan every couple of years. You know, we're working with clients who recommend that they do that, work with their attorneys. And that way, we make sure that if something does happen, that people know where the documents are, that there's not additional things beyond just the loss of a loved one that are compounding and making it tougher for the rest of our family.
We're actually down to only about 30 seconds left. You still have a few more here if you just want to read them off real fast so we can at least let people know about them.
Exactly. Having an investment plan that doesn't focus on your investment needs, being too aggressive or too conservative with investments, holding on to investment too long, seeking financial advice from someone other than an advisor. It's important to have a certified planner that can help you really look at all aspects of your situation. And last one, withdrawing too much or too little from a retirement plan. You know, the thing we do is we have a class at SBCC, Financial Fitness. Beautiful place to look at your whole picture, men and women, and couples and individuals, and see where you're going, where you are, what you got to do to bridge the gap. Highly recommended.
Great advice, and not just for women. A lot of those, I was taking notes mentally while you were talking about it.